the semis, and they're breaking a Fusion Unity streak. So we are working with finals magic, with playoffs magic potentially.
We are. Although here, this reverse sweep would be even crazier than the Mayhem game because that was a mere 3 in a row. This, if Envy were to win here, would put Atlanta into a spot of needing 4 in a row. You know, the delayed 4-0, as it were.
Anything is possible, though maybe unlikely. Envy going to be on offense here first for Horizon Lunar Colony. It's going to be our Assault. Atlanta on the defense. Both teams running the mirror, the 3-3 with Rhymes.
So I'm not going to be seeing any longer-term summer play. Head on out. Gator already under very heavy pressure again, where, you know, I think Gator's done a remarkable job despite being under the pressure he's been under, but, you know, there comes a point, if your shield is out of HP, it's very difficult to do anything as a Rhyme.
Crimzo was so close to getting caught there on the rotation. Actually, Trill dropping. I don't know if that was a boop or just a drop.
I think that was him just trying to jump and then kind of fell down.
A little both, but this allows Envy to actually move towards the point, though. Even though they don't control the high ground right now, they are able to move towards the point.
Well, the problem is we're discombobulated. Fire ends up getting caught by Saucy on the other end. The attacker so far might be really rough. And look at Hawk, just so much room to lay in damage from the top. I think Envy's attack really got messed up by Trill falling.
They did. It really messed up the momentum. They couldn't continue up on the high ground. They couldn't fight there. Hawk taking that off angle on the high ground is something every Diva dreams about. That's what Divas want to do, is sit on a high ground and just shoot a Reinhardt in the back. So Hawk's positioning key for that fight win.
Well, you take a look at how long that fight dragged out. It was kind of the worst of all worlds for Envy because Atlanta just able to be nearly fully charged up. They're about to have 6 ults.
About to have 6 ults, though. Envy are not necessarily mega behind in ult economy, though they are overall behind. Envy now going to be making these rotations. They'll have time to build up as well, depending on how aggressive Atlanta want to be. Atlanta want to be very aggressive.
Really early shatter here. Fire to the ground. Envy, though, able to protect Fire. Early on, Zard using the rally as well. Shatter back the other way. In time from Trill. Puts Atlanta in a tough spot. Gator! Shatter again! And this time it sets up Hawk for 3.
That's a big Shatter bomb combo. A lot of ults having to be used for Atlanta, but they've won the fight. They removed ults from Envy. Gator recognizing, wow, this is a brutal. I love Space Stagger so much. Bye-bye, Elevote! He's gone!
So far gone.
He's done. He's done his spacewalk. He's finished his time. Good. I think a good gauge for Gator there as well is dropping and then making sure to set up that shadow from behind, abusing the fact that the rest of Envy are in the grab instead of the bomb. That was the second shatter of that fight, too.
Yeah, it was. It was 2. That was just Gator says, Trill, you think that you're unique going for 2 shatters. Well, let me tell you something. So, in Atlanta, they were also good to take that fight easily, as they did. Getting into the next fight, Envy rotating around the left side, firing! Almost down. Super early in the fight. Graviton gonna be heading out here. Some starts to grab the one thing that Envy had in reserve. They're gonna drop the beat. 5-on-5 here. Sugar Free down early. Shatter in again. Trill. Atlanta able to protect it to a decent degree. Elbow actually down. Couldn't remech. And Atlanta doing a very good job holding Envy off.
Great barrier presence from both Saucy and Gator. Gator going deep, catching fire. He's getting people right now. These frags coming out. The bird will die to Crimzo in the back. And look at the point presence, by the way. Almost 0 for Envy. 0, actually 0 for Envy.
And they are down to their final 38 seconds. Atlanta, they have almost completed the first point hold. Envy is in a much worse position for ult advantage. And that means Atlanta, the worst case scenario for this map, might just be a drop. Envy does not get any form of success here on next attack at minimum. They need to get at least a tick.
They need to get a tick, but they only have a Transcendence to work with. They have literally no other ults on the field. Atlanta, they have Shatter. They have Combo. We've seen before Gator drop down to set it up. There's so many resources here for Atlanta.
Already got him with a big Gator. Immediately shatters here. And again, it's on the fire, but they do too much. Graviton can be used here from Atlanta early. Self-destruct. Up and over. Gets 2. Envy just going to be completely repelled here on Horizon. They get 0 progress. And that means that Envy is not going to be adding a 3rd point to their total here. And Atlanta's in a very good spot to get their first win here in our grand final.
That was a brutal first hold. That was an excellent first hold overall. They were aggressive on the chokes when they needed to be. They messed up the engages. They messed up the approaches when possible. They didn't give them free space. And then when you have those crucial point fights, Atlanta set up that corner grab. They set up those early picks and have a great beat from Astro to keep Gator alive.
I think to me it all just comes back to that fight where Atlanta was going off on the right side high ground, right side from the defender's perspective, and Trill just kind of falls off And not only does Trill fall off, but it leads to this just weird, almost comical sequence where Envy's just kind of running around like chickens with their heads cut off. And the end result of that fight is that Atlanta leaves with, nearly a full 6 ults in return. Envy's in a very tough spot after, and just Envy wasn't able to recover. So, call it whatever you will, but Atlanta very likely now to be getting their first point of the match.
At the worst, they get a draw.
Yeah.
But it's tough for Trill. He can't always distinguish up from down, because remember, he's in Australia. He's upside down already. It's tough for him to distinguish these when we're in an A, when we're playing from an A. So a lot of times, the ceiling is the floor is the ceiling.
Absolutely true.
That's why everyone is chained to the ground in Australia, so they don't fly off into space.
It was really awkward when I went out there, the Sydney and Twice City. I thought it was all myths, just us making things up, but, I ran into some tough times.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. If you didn't get your own personal safety harness, it can be very dangerous.
Well, Atlanta looking in a very good spot now. And this is where, again, it's not going to be reverse sweep territory in that case, but, just a good solid, we're striking back, and we'll see if they can make it a series here versus Evie, who started out the first 2 maps very, very strong.
Atlanta now moving up on the offense. They are playing the 3-3 mirror. Same with Envy. No Winston, because Envy recognizes that Winston's great if you want to just not always have the best. You just want to get the most time off the clock, but not necessarily guarantee have the best possible chance of holding first. But when you have to hold first, you need the run.
Envy dropping on over, taking down Sugar Free immediately. A very solid drop down with even heavier pressure on the Gator. So Envy being decisive here on the defense. The problem is that you have to do that a whole lot more.
I love that drop down from Envy, actually, where they stagger it a bit to where they land in the middle, almost of Atlanta, rather than actually just dropping on the front line or the back line. It splits them pretty heavily there.
And it certainly worked out. Trill built up a shatter for the next fight, way ahead of Gator. And, that's the interesting thing about defense here is that you can get way ahead in ultimate.
You can get way ahead. And what Atlanta should know, their win condition, they should know they just need a single tick. So you can afford to walk in, take dry fights, get owned, and even if you don't build any ults for the first couple pushes, you just need to remove ults from Envy later on.
Trill aggressively going to drop down here, moving forward in Atlanta, hoping to find some form of good shatter there, but instead, they're going to back out. Atlanta will be able to get to high ground, but they immediately drop down. They're going to focus on the point where, again, remember, they only need 33% here. But here comes Trill, drops the shatter, knocks down 2, Saucy and Sugar Free on the floor. And Saucy doesn't get back up, taken down early. Gator, drop the shatter on the other side, put Sharp on the ground. Sharp,
they're committing.
Pressure, but he's sealed back up. Crowd's not going to be used by Envy. Envy holding on, and Atlanta, as you say, they commit, but I don't think they're going to get anything from it.
I don't think there was any reason to commit their ults here. Sure, Elivote's going to die late. They should not be able to get any other picks. Bird's going to go down because of it. There was no reason to use ults in this fight. I think after Gator Shatter, that's already risky. But fine, whatever. You'll build Shatter relatively quickly when you're in these brawl fights. There's just no reason to commit. No reason to commit. You know your win conditions. They did remove several ults from Envy, though.
So credit to Envy here. They have burned 2 minutes off the clock. This would be devastating for Atlanta to walk away from this map without a map win, to have it be a draw with how little they've had to do. That's not a world that they want to go to.
Atlanta are probably going to do this rotation here again. They baited the push for Envy when Trill dropped down and then rotated. This time, though, they're not going to fall for it. Envy going to control the high ground. They know Atlanta want to do the rotation.
Trill's another shatter here.
He does have another shatter.
So, I don't think Trill's going to wait a whole lot at all. He's going to jump in from the top rope, gets the armor pack. Now, Envy, they are low on cooldowns. They have to drop down contest. They want to give this up for free. Trill, still super low. Heavy pressure onto him. Uses the shatter, gets Sugar Free on the ground. Sugar Free, though, going to live. Shatter back the other way. Envy using the beat. Everyone's still alive. Daru going to rally immediately on cooldown. Envy, they've used every support ult they've had. And Atlanta drops a grab and still get Crimson at the end from the bomb from Hawk. Man advantage out to Atlanta. Looking for their first map win here in the series. Grabs on in from Envy. Not going to be enough. Turn the tide. Envy falling one by one here. And this is going to be Atlanta. It was a bit of a slog. It took them to the final minute. But they're going to get their first map win on the board. 2-1 in the map series.
A bit of a slog, and Envy actually still had the chance to hold that fight. But they allowed a lot of shield pressure and a lot of health to go off of Trill before they dropped the point. And in addition, they double support ulted. Yep. They layered support ults. A cardinal sin of engages in 3-3, and it happened right there.
And I will say this, for Envy, that was a pretty good point A defense. Unfortunately for Envy, it was punctuated by an absolutely terrible point A attack.
Yep.
But to give Atlanta the proper due, Atlanta also had a very good defense where, they were very solid. They were finding the right opportunities to dive on down. And I think part of it also had to do with the fact that Envy couldn't really do the classic, we're going to sit around and poke forever game on Horizon that they're doing on other maps, because the verticality just gives more natural cover the Gator to go, wait, I actually don't have to let you just blow up my shield over and over and over again.
No, it's definitely one of those advantages. It's a defense-oriented first point. A lot of first points are for Assault, but Horizon Recall in particular is an extremely tough first to push when you're not sure how you want to approach it, when you don't have a clear, decisive, decision how you're going to take it, what your overall strategy is going to be, and you're not using your ults properly. So bad offense for Envy, better defense, but could not save them in the end.
Not quite, no. And Envy, though, they still have a lot to feel good about here. Even as Atlanta, can feel a bit revitalized. They got a map on the board. They're not looking down at reverse sweep territory. Envy, you're still up 2-1, and really you've looked stronger overall. I mean, Horizon, you can chalk it up to, well, it's just hard to attack in that map in 3-3. But it sounds like our next map, just going off the music here in the background, it's going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar, I believe.
Wow. That is the definition of a lore master. What we just witnessed. You recognize the in-game sounds for the map.
Yes.
You have it memorized so well that you were like, it's this map coming up next. I also agree with your assessment. It probably is Jib. But remember, we're still under the same rule set, are we not? Of the loser picks map. So this is the losing team picking map and the winning team deciding their side.
It is a little bit interesting to me that Envy decides to go here, where Envy, they've seemingly been doing better on maps.
It's Horizon. Wait, it's Jib. It is Jib. Well,
it's Jib.
Horizon was the last map. Horizon was the last map. I was about to say Horizon.
Don't question my ability to recognize maps off
cross-check me ever again.
Ever again.
Do not question my authority, says CP.
I hear that music in my sleep. I've been hearing it for 4 years.
Jib?
Yeah, it goes back to the very beginning. It was one of the original Escort maps.
For 4 years, though.
It's like
4 years.
It's like 3.5 since 2015. Close enough.
Close enough.
I'm rounding up.
Rounding up half a year.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, regardless, Gibraltar is where we're going to be going here. And look, I'm a little bit surprised, like I said, given the fact that Envy just now wasn't quite as dominant with heavy verticality in play. And, there's few maps more vertical than Gibraltar.
Very few maps that are more vertical than Gibraltar. It does allow for a little bit more flexibility if you want to make it work. It's tough still because most teams are, especially for first, they always opt more often than not, unless there's a comp that's being run by the defense, to stick with heavy tank because it's just reliable. It's very reliable. You can also adjust it to your needs if you want to use the verticality more with the Winston. Envy on the offense here first. So obviously since they won, or this is their map, Atlanta, since losing the last map, won the last map, I should say, have chosen defense first rather than the offense.
I'll vote. I don't think it's going to be a long journey in the Doomfist. That was just a casual look-see. Maybe you hit someone, maybe you don't. But he heads on back, he's going to swap out.
Look at this aggressive hold from Atlanta. They're actually trying to catch him on the drop. Now they're going to back up with the counter-aggression for Envy, and they get rid of Fire.
Yeah, Fire's down early. Bird just lands a few orbs on him, and Envy finding a quick retreat back into their spawn.
Bird waking up here a little bit more, I think. When we talk about Atlanta's success, I really talk about how Bird's addition to the roster helped improve them immensely. And Bird finds early picks a lot.
Well, they're holding correctly at the spawn point, a hallmark of teams that our good friend Brad has been involved with one or another. But it starts to backfire here. Gator a little bit far forward, just gets pummeled, shield and life alike. And Envy, they're going to get quite a bit from this.
They're going to get tied a bit, but Bird, he's still getting some picks. They're still delaying the card here. Money Asher actually picking up Trill as well, and they're going to commit Transcendence to this fight.
And
Money Asher gets another?
From it. What in the world? That should not have happened.
This fight is still ongoing. I mean, the spawners are better for Envy. So eventually, Atlanta should lose this fight unless they want to commit Saucy's grab here as well, which would be madness.
It's already in the realm of madness.
They're back, though. They're back. They already have Gator back.
Drop the grab. Atlanta, the madmen, they're going for it. They force Envy to transcend 2 feet from spawn. The bomb gets 2. The aid of Gator. What in the world is going on?
That is one of the craziest, just aggressive engages, knowing your win condition ever. Atlanta entirely catching Envy off guard there. That's honestly reminiscent of a runaway support usage there, where they're just so supremely confident they can win a fight and they have the resources and the picks to do so, that they commit their ults.
This is pure madness. This should not be working to the effect it is. It's already bought a lot of time. All right, Gator goes for the shatter. Not going to get much off that one. Atlanta getting forced back into Trill. Shadow of the zone. Grab's not going to be used here by Envy, but Envy, they're using so many resources just to get out of an area that you usually get for free.
They had to use an insane amount of resources. They lose Jaru there again at the end. And not only have they commit their grab there, look at the time bank already from this first hold, and they haven't even rounded the bend.
It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock, and that's not even the hard part of Gibraltar first to get through. How big would it be for Atlanta here in the grand finals to just surge back with back-to-back point A holds?
Atlanta now moving forward. Saucy will have the grab out here as well. So they're coming up on another win condition that's so important. Crimson needs to build this Transcendence.
They have to delay the fight a little bit, and oh, they're not getting
that's big.
Bomb, shatter. But okay,
the bomb was messed up. Yeah, too
the
far.
Bomb was in a really bad spot. Uncharacteristic for elbow. Gator though still down. Envy with more ultimate reserve. They transcend. They use the takedown too. So even the bomb being done, I think Envy's still done enough here to get through this point. Atlanta, unfortunately, they couldn't slow down that fight a bit. Envy very aggressively took it to him.
Very aggressive. I like the initiation from Envy still, even if the bomb was messed up. It went a little too far, but you still remove a lot of cooldowns, a lot of health initially. You get rid of the beat for Funny Astro, and already doing that, they're in a great position. So second, gonna be on here, gonna be next in the lineup. Saucy has grab, and Crimzo has Transcendence. So Atlanta are gonna be looking to set up some pin kills here, try to get a pin frag while in the grab.
Envy kind of lucky to recover to the extent that they have. If they get this next fight, it's gonna be even better. Saucy.
Atlanta need to go though, because Sharp's about to have a grab.
I mean, there's grabs on both sides. Sharp already has it, so both teams grab in reserve. Atlanta, they don't have the Transcendence, so to your point, Sharp's gonna drop the grab. Bird, he's not ready at all, and Envy, it's just an easy team fight win. They have no response to the Graviton.
Atlanta are playing such a scared game right now, which is weird. It's a weird dichotomy considering how aggressive they were holding the spawn and how aggressive we've seen them been in the past, where why wait so long? You've had the grab, remove the trans, just take the fight. You're not going to have combo up in time. Hawk wasn't even close.
So it's definitely a weird dichotomy, as you can say. But Atlanta moving in, Gator dropping the shatter, knocks down two. Crimzo on the ground, same with Jaru. Jaru not going to be getting back up. Crimzo gets up in time to use Transcendence, but on time to save Jaru. Rolo go back up one more time. Self-destruct all the way to the top. Beat guy cover, elbows escape. Bird down and out of the fight. 5-on-5 here for Envy. When you look at the damage here on the Trill, he's getting awfully low. Sharp down, Akila saved him again. And Atlanta still able to rally here towards the end of point B.
Making it work there in the end, but having to invest so much once again in that fight. Had to invest double support ult, had to invest bomb, grab, rally, shot. They literally pretty much put 6 ults out there in that fight. They've been saving Saucy's grab for so long for it. And when you look at this next engage, when you look for Envy looking to come back in here, they're going to have rally up. They're coming up on grab again. Hawk will have bomb though.
Well, the grab, obviously the bigger part here, where if Sharp can build energy quickly and use that to get ult, before Bird is able to get 60%, again, it's just win condition.
Which is very, very real. That's a very real possibility. Sharp is building grabs incredibly quickly.
Right now, just on the top, get a drop on down. And we'll see if they wait for Sharp. I mean, I don't think they have a lot of options aside from waiting. They're gonna have the bomb in the back of the Hawk, and it gets fire! Envy mortally wounded here. Trill getting awfully low on the same note.
Crimson's about to have trance. I think they might commit. I think they might commit to this fight.
I think they will. I absolutely think they will. They use the grab. They're going to try and get the ball dry. They get the sugar, but they need the grab! The grab needed by elbow! The one thing from Atlanta that could have helped them out towards the end, Transcendence or no, just gobbled on up. Envy, though, still don't have the fight for sure. They a little bit wounded going into that.
Still waiting for some return spawners. They're going to look for the next engage here. Bubbles use.
Gator super low, same with Saucy. Both down, the bomb in the back. Doesn't even matter. Envy gonna crack through here to point B, but it's taking just about all their time to do this. They're not gonna have a whole lot of time. It's gonna be under 2 minutes for them to go here from point B to point C.
See now some stagger hold happening. Oh my goodness, Gator just got booped around. Pinata, he's done now, but just going to be the spawn frag there for Envy. Envy moving forward. They are relatively low on time for last cap. They didn't get the steamroll through first or second. No, and a lot of times get the snowball very effectively after the first cap, and Envy did not.
Atlanta's been checking them very well. I mean, really, it could have been a first point hold if Atlanta just had 5 more time on point A after just a ridiculous spot hold. But getting to the next fight, Trill taking a lot of damage early on. Both teams turning up back and forth. Atlanta, you see Astro with barrier, holding the back. Sharp has a potential opportunity for the grab here. He uses it before Bird has Transcendence. Astro has to beat because of it, but oh, the shatter on the other side from Gator. That's gonna make it clean for Atlanta.
clean fight for Atlanta. Surviving the grab, had to invest the the shadow to beat the rally, but they were trading rallies anyways. They can be happy with that fight, but when we're looking at these grabs being built, Saucy, 70%. He needs to get this grab up in time. He absolutely needs to, because they don't want to be a situation where they need to bomb with Hawk again. If they don't get value, then they're pretty much where we have a grab versus 2 support ults.
Evie swapping back out here. And they don't really have a lot of time. It sounds like around 30 seconds. This is final fight territory. Already bombed to the back here from Hawk. What's he gonna do? Takes down Fire again. Fire continually getting caught by these bombs, and early poke from Bird. Falling early. Last 20 seconds from Envy, and they do not have a whole lot of time.
They really like using Hawk's bombs extremely aggressively. They're staggering them, not using the same time with Saucy's grab. But it's fine if you win the fight with it, if you hold on. Now, though, Atlanta are trying to lock them into spawn. They're trying to keep Evie from even touching.
They're committing to the anti-touch strategy here. They get another 2 off it, and I think it's going to work in their favor. And even if they do touch, no one's going to have enough HP. They've lost too many for Envy. Everyone's just kind of martyring themselves to try and get to the payload, and it's not going to work out. Overtime ticks down, and Atlanta has a pretty convincing hold in the middle of point C, and if I'm Envy, I'm not feeling good about this, because really, this hold could have been even earlier.
Could have been much earlier. So now, I like Atlanta's return to almost their roots, where they were defined by aggression. Absolutely defined by aggression earlier, just literally last season. And they had some problems with that same mantra this season. But with these new roles, with their new players they've gotten, I think aggression is where they need to return to. That's where their focus needs to be, and we saw it on that first hold.
Well, I would also say here that aggression is the privilege of the confident in Overwatch, where if you're not confident that you're going to get heals in a proper manner, that everyone's going to be doing your job, you don't feel great about heading forward and taking the fight to the enemy team, because you don't want to be that guy that is sitting here on cast just going, wow, that guy just keeps dying over and over again. And the difference between a Reinhardt moving forward and living and looking like a god, and a Reinhardt moving forward and going, wow, that guy's just trying to cure world hunger, is the support that's behind it. And I think the reason why Atlanta lost their identity, especially earlier in the season, is that with all the turnover they had, especially with Saucy having to be on flex support as a fill-in, I think they hit a point where Gator in particular didn't feel confident playing his normal style. But we've seen flashes of the old Atlanta now, and I think it just comes down to the fact that they've been a more complete team.
Atlanta's getting a little bit of scout. Maybe going to run Saucy. I was about to say Saucy on the Hammond. That would have been crazy, but no. Atlanta might be rolling out here on the quad tank initially. Have Sugar for you look for a hook and then swap back off. See, they peek out. Going to swap back. Yeah, didn't even see a hook, so they're not going to go for it. Just going to swap back now. So 3-3 up for Atlanta, 3-3 for Envy. Interesting that we never see Winston from either of these two teams, but they both feel much more confident on Ryan.
I mean, I would look at Trill historically and just think that Ryan has been the more impressive of the 2 heroes. Not that Winston's bad by any means, but, more good ults are smashed with shatters for him, I'd say, overall.
Envy decided to hold the car wash area, as it's called, this lower point right here at the bend, and just deny the early cap push rather than the corner.
And Envy, I mean, this is still a pretty good spot to hold, especially because, again, you look at the shield battle, this is a great vantage point to just continually throw everything, including the kitchen sink, directly at Gator.
You have 2 different corners to use as well. You have the door, and then there we get the D-Mech onto Hawk very early, set up from that aggression.
And part of it was that Gator was forced back a bit there and couldn't stay as deep as he wanted to, and it just leaves Hawk off on an island. Hawk gets taken down early.
Sharp has grab already. I've talked about a lot. He's outbuilding Saucy pretty consistently. Now it's not, by margins of 40-50%, but it is outbuilding.
They're holding back Graviton. We're ready here for Sharp. Envy, I mean, they're just making their stand here at the car wash. I think this had to be the reason why they wanted to go to Gibraltar. They're very confident in this defense. Shatter in from Trill, and it's so big. 3 down on the ground, and that's a fight over.
It is fight over, and the Transcendence is used. I mean, the grab came out for Sharp there as well. They put him on the corner. Trill also drops the Shatter. Clean up, just guarantee it regardless. Atlanta can still feel okay, even though they invested the Trance, because they didn't use any other ults. 0 other ults here. They know Troll doesn't have Shatter, so when Sugarbee's rally is up, you can move forward, you can enable Gator, and just try to roll over the backline, maybe even get a single pick.
2 minutes left here for Atlanta. They open up with the raw Shatter. They get Jaro on the ground. They're going to try and move in the shield in. They drop the grab right after Jaro. He's gone. No chance to be healed up. Envy going to be losing 2 here in this fight. And now I think they have to just let this go and hope that they can get back in time, as the payload's going to move pretty swiftly from Car Wash to the apex of point A.
It is going to move very fast. Envy have a recontestability though. They have beat. There's no grab anymore. There's no other support ults for Atlanta, so they can enter here with beat, and their goal here is to have Sharp build a grab. If Sharp can build a grab, they can win the long fight. But obviously Atlanta have ults there to deny.
The problem is that they can't hold back. They have to put bodies on the payload, and well, bodies are on the ground.
Fire got bashed by Sugar Free and lost beat. That's a big F. That's a big F in chat there.
And Atlanta, they're sitting a quicker time than Envy did. They get through point A much quicker, 3.5 minutes. So even if Envy makes a resurgence here on point B, Atlanta has a few more fights to work with. And don't forget, they get through point B. They don't have very far to go in point C.
Definitely. I mean, it was either Bash or a Shatter. It was one of those two. I actually could not see it effectively, but I saw the stun come out. So either way, he was stunned out of the beat. See now Envy being super aggressive. They know Atlanta have no ults. It's a neutral fight for them. They do have the grab.
And neutral fights have still been more Envy's than Atlanta's thus far. On the aggregate, they're just better at getting earlier shield damage in. Atlanta just going to be forced back one by one. But Envy, they have a long way to go. I mean, they need to make this a long, protracted battle for point B for Atlanta, where, you know, point C, it's about one fight threshold, so they really don't have much to give.
Fire, if I was about to say Fire, I don't know why it's only on Fire. I was about to say Fire needs to stop them. It's not just Fire. Envy, they did the most important thing where they stopped the snowball. They stopped the snowball onto second, which is where a lot of teams fall prey to that issue.
Repton and Transcendence out. Gonna be keeping people in a decent spot. Elva was knocked to the ground by Gator, but he's still total okay. Trill, Shatter, Mammoth, 3 down on the ground. And it has been a day of good shatters for Trill.
Trill and Gator have been trading off on terms of the good shatters, but Trill has been finding overall much better value than Gator, even though Gator has been hitting some equally big ones. So the Transcendence removed. Will not have that up for Atlanta. Envy still holding onto this high ground, dropping down to contest where they need to. Atlanta's goal here is combo. Their goal here is combo. They should know Fire doesn't have beat yet. Set it up.
Atlanta moving forward pretty early with Rally. Envy can give them a bit of space. They don't have a Rally of their own. They just have Transcendence, but they want to save that for the grab, and they're more than willing to use Transcendence in response to the grab. Hawk actually going on to the self-destruct all the while. Got to drop the self-destruct a little bit later in the fight. It's directly to the back, but it's not in a very good spot. Envy able to mostly ignore it, but even while this is going on, you see Elvo get demacked in Atlanta. This is really good because not only taking the fight, but the game's so drawn out, this might be the only fight they need for point B. Both teams though, gonna use beat here. Gator dropping another Shatter. Envy continually getting forced back. They drop the grab under pressure. Transcendence in, but Atlanta giving them no quarter right now.
Giving the no quarter at all. The point of that bomb earlier was actually just the zone. They didn't think they were going to be able to get the combo play, and they were able to get Ellie vote. Now they're on point. They're moving forward. Saucy close to another grab here. No support ults available. Needs to outbuild Crimzo.
Envy, they're actually in a really good spot. They can stay a little longer. Gator's shield is broken, and so is Gator. Just snapped in half by Crimzo after the shield break. Envy, 1 minute away from taking their third map here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. And Atlanta, for as good as their defense was, now they're in the hot seat. Envy has evened things up.
They have no support ults. No support ults, which means they have no fallbacks. They have nothing to stop. A big Shatter. Trill drops another one here. Or if Crimzo decides he's going to get this early pick. Saucy is going to have to be the focus for them.
A lot of pressure going in. Oh, the Shatter!
That's 5!
No, 5 hit the ground from Trill. What more do you want from this man? The Thunder from down under. Atlanta down to their final fight, and I gotta tell you, it's not gonna be a great one.
Hawk having to go off late too. He got staggered. This is their final fight. They will have rally up. They will have combo. But Crimzo, Trance alive. Sharp is gonna get grabbed. He will get grabbed. There's no way he doesn't. So there's always the possibility that they can't even set it up. They can't even set up this bomb for Atlanta because of a peel grab.
Bird needs to get Transcendence, 80% right now. Final opportunity here for Atlanta. We are overtime here at point B. Repton out early, answered by the Transcendence. Bomb in from Elbow, not gonna do a whole lot. Hawk still holding on to his. Sharp, drop the grab. Bird doesn't have Transcendence yet, and then bomb! The bomb does nothing, Envy does everything. Atlanta held on point B here on Gibraltar, and Envy is now 1 map away from going to the Atlantic Showdown, from being your grand finals champions.
Massively played from Envy. I mean, Envy just recognized that Atlanta keep going for this play where they use Grav to remove the support ults, to remove Transcendence in particular, and then bombing afterwards rather than ever setting up a combo. I think that's their goal. Their overall goal is they don't feel like they find enough value, so they'd rather save the bomb for post-fight and then split and get frags from it. But because the bomb is out, Sharp is like, I can just grab for free. There's no diva to eat it. We know they don't have any other support ults, or at least they shouldn't just yet. And so because of that, they rush forward and they clean up everyone in the grab.
Well, not only that, the bomb is just so far back. They're like, wait. We have 2 options here. We can hold back and go towards the bomb and potentially die, or we could grab, go forward, and not only take you out, but not worry about the bomb you just thrown at us. It was a pretty easy decision for Envy there.
A very easy decision. It's something that I've seen in teams as 3-3 has evolved. We've seen a lot more teams recognize, well, if a zoning bomb comes out and I have grab, why don't we just, or even if I don't have grab, just walk forward anyways. Because there's no mech. I don't have to worry about eating damage. I don't have to worry about taking that damage, losing high ground control. And Envy do exactly that.
It's a resurgence of the W key for most people. It's just like, the W key is pretty good. The true counter to a bomb thrown to your backline. But what this means now is that Envy is 1 map away from completing the undefeated season. They were undefeated the regular season, and of course, playoffs a single limb. So if they're here right now, they haven't lost in playoffs.
No, they have not.
And what a resurgence for Envy, all in all. You think back to their last season, the adjustments they've made. It's been their best season yet, and Atlanta on the verge of being runner-ups once more.
Which is still not a terrible result
No.
when you think about how strong overall it's been when you get to the top. Also, they will have if they do lose, not saying it's not decided yet. It is 1st to 4, so there is a very real possibility that Atlanta could still win the match. But even if they run off right here, they could still go and play off the runoff match and earn their way into the Atlantic Showdown.
Very true. Now, next matchup here is going to be very close or very quick, one way or another, where it's going to be Lijiang. That is our next map. We're going back to Control, where, of course, in 1st to 7, you see multiple controls. You can see, I think, as many as 3 in the end. So Lijiang going into it. The problem here for Atlanta is that you're dealing with a map that's pretty flat in a lot of respects, and something that the way Envy has been playing, it's ideal for just throwing enormous amounts of shield pressure directly into Atlanta.
Putting that shield pressure in and just setting up Trill has been their motto. They've been making work. Also, Sharp, I mean, when he's a force, when you're building grabs first, Control, it's even better to have grabs first because you're just in the middle of a fight, just drop it, win it from there. The time bank then works in your favor. So it is something, if you're having that stronger frontline duel, that stronger frontline presence, Envy will feel very happy, very confident on Control, which they did on Oasis.
Yeah, I mean, Oasis, again, you just kind of have to strike out the part of the record where they opened up with Hammond on 1 map, where, again, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Obviously, it gave them first fight. It's one of those things where you're taking a mortgage out on the future, and eventually, the debt is going to become due, and it puts you in a rough spot all in all. But Lijiang Towers, where we're heading next, could be the final map in the season here for Atlanta. Of course, if Atlanta does fall here and now, it does mean that Atlanta, you'll be seeing them later today in our runoff match. They could still make it to the Atlantic Showdown, but they'd have to fight the runner-up of our other final coming up right after this.
Getting into Lijiang, direct Control here. And we have seen Envy be very confident on Control overall before. Atlanta, they need to channel some of that aggression, some of that memories of old Atlanta that we saw on that first hold for Gibraltar, and bring it here.
I like to think that Brad is just sitting behind them in the practice room, and he's just telling them very calmly but very stern, go to spawn.
Do they share a house? Is Brad with them?
I have no idea.
I don't know if the Atlanta Academy shares. I mean, Brad's in the Atlanta house. Yeah. Brad's there.
Okay.
That is where Brad Rajani is. But the question is, Sefi, as he is also his alias, that is the head coach for Atlanta for Overwatch League. I always affectionately call him Brad Rajani for no reason. I don't know why. I just had a habit of doing that.
You're just very formal. You're very...
Every time I see him, I'm like, Brad Rajani, yeah. How are you? But I think, I don't know if they're in the same house, so I don't know if Brad's actually with them.
Mysteries to be solved another day. But now we head into Lijiang Tower. Atlanta fighting for their lives, fighting for their season. Envy looking to complete the undefeated season and establish themselves as the favorite coming from NA for the Atlantic Showdown just a little bit later this year. And now we'll see if Atlanta can fight for their life here, make it 3-2, and force yet another map.
Pressure is on for Atlanta, and if there's one map type for them to bring it back, it's Control. Atlanta, we've historically known them as a strong control team. They haven't had the same dominance this season quite as much, though they have had a resurgence like we talked about with the addition of Bird. They've also seen some great triple DPS play last match in particular, in the quarters, in the semis, I should say, not the quarters, in the semis, where we saw them, you know, play Meta Sky Foxes and play some excellent triple DPS.
3, 2, 1. Round 1.
So gates are going to be opening here in Atlanta. Not fighting 3-3 versus 3-3. Envy coming out the Ana, but it's Atlanta. Sending Sugar Free to the far. Of course, we saw it yesterday. It shouldn't be a surprise here, but Trill already down. Atlanta's DPS setup paying dividends already.
Paying dividends already. Sugar Free just keeping the contest there onto Sharp, who's very far back right now, so there's no bubble. He's not high energy either. So he's really just doing nothing. Sharp is accomplishing nothing right now where they're at. Envy, they're locked down in that side room on the right.
Slowly firing secondary fires vaguely at Sugar Free, who is way too high to actually be hit.
Bird picks up Trill again. Bird finds Trill. He returns to the fight. Gator is going to go down to Jaru in return, but look at this point presence. Look at the damage for Atlanta.
The interesting part here for Atlanta is, despite their pickups, they don't have control of the point.
They don't.
And Envy's actually staggering back in. And there's a situation where Sharp, he gets down Bird, gets a bit of revenge.
And Trill has made it back for his third life of the first fight so far. He's back here. The bubble out. And
Envy gets first
they
control.
get first control. Because Sharp, despite him being caught, Gator was down, so there is no main tank for Atlanta to contest on point at all.
This is just the weakness of DPS comps. You can get all the early pickups you want, but you got to put people on point. You have to put bodies on the ground. And Atlanta, unable to do that. Trill gonna get the nano boost. He's out for blood, out for a little bit of revenge. Dives on in. Crimzo, the anti-air option. And as good as this was for Atlanta just a day ago, I think they need to swap.
Well, I don't think they're going to swap. They have nano. Or not nano, EMP. They have EMP barrage. Okay, they're going Sombra Goat.
Sombra Goat.
Here it is.
This is the right play for Atlanta. It is 100% the right play.
Sombra Goat's going to be up. Trill not that close to the primal, so they don't have to worry about that. They need to get in before Sharp gets this grab, though. He is 75%, so they're going to look to move forward here, set up the EMP. With Crimzo being on the Ana, though, the Ana allows for you to have a little bit more sustain post-EMP.
Atlanta and Sombra Goats putting a lot of faith here into Hawk. They can't get too low before the EMP comes out. They want to fall through. Trill out of the fight, and they use the EMP anyways, but look at the beat. In from fire. Good position to come back in, drop it. Now he looks for Sharp. Has the Graviton. Use it. He knows Bird doesn't have Transcendence because he's just swapping. Saucy out of the fight, and Envy. EMP or no. Might be on the verge of taking this, though it is very close.
Where was the follow-up for that EMP as well? You see Gator takes out Jaru. Rallies out, not able to keep Gator alive. Fire. In that pick, he's going to be hacked right now, but Atlanta, how do you win this fight? You have a Nano Zarya on point.
Well, they're able to take down Trill. The problem is, Envy's just kind of staggering back and forth. I think they realize that they're a bit wounded now, but they're trying to just build the progress here bit by bit, and it's working out for them. Okay, Gator, you've used the Shatter, but Envy, they got more than what they could have bargained there. 85% to 4.
5%, that's the flip going out for Atlanta. Sugar Free currently sleeping, having a good nap. They make sure not to lose anyone. Trill picked up there. Envy can re-enter this point, though, and set up combo. They're going to have combo. They're going to have rally to allow themselves to enter. Crimson are going to make the swap on a Xin now. No point to play. I really think the Ana would still be fine when you're playing against the Sombra here, but going to play the Xin because their goal with Xin is not only have the Transcendence, but you can pressure the front line much more effectively because there is no Diva. Hawk isn't there to eat damage.
They only need one fight also.
They do only need one fight, so they can walk in, remove EMP from Hawk, and then just win the next fight.
Yeah, I think that's what they should do. I think the problem is, I don't think they realize Hawk has EMP, so they're going to come in here as if he doesn't have EMP, and then it's like, surprise, we got EMP. EMP hits 3 in the back. Envy, though, still, well, they're going to fall. The Graviton, more than enough to finish it off right after. Still a heavy investment from Atlanta, though.
Heavy investment from Atlanta, but a heavy investment from Envy. They use combo. Yeah. They don't have combo. They don't have rally now. They will move in. They'll build the double support soon enough. But during that time, Atlanta will still have the overall advantage. They can bully them, and Hawk will be building the EMP.
I well and truly believe that Envy did not think Hawk had EMP. I think that by NA standards, that was a very fast EMP build. That was almost close to Doha levels, which usually takes about another fight longer for the average Sombra to get that here in the North American play. So realistically speaking, they weren't prepared for it.
You see Envy, they're re-entering the point. Hawk is trying to build the EMP. Shatter out. Crimzo on the ground. The Trance invested. Can they get any picks, though, for Atlanta? Right now, they're just in a holding pattern. They do get Trill.
Trill's down. Atlanta, they're in such a good spot now. The swap to Sombra Goat has worked out very well for them because not only do they take that fight, not the EMP fight.
This is last fight. This is last fight. Envy had to commit here.
From EMP. Envy, they move on in, they get EMP one more time. Bird, though, down, so is Gator. This is a little bit more back and forth than Atlanta might like, and Atlanta, they're just running out of bodies to keep on the actual point here.
See, there's the grab invested for Saucy, but they can't kill anything. There's a big rectangle up. They can't shoot anything past it. They have no sustain. Their supports aren't there. They don't have Bird.
Shatter coming out here from Gator. Envy, see Elvo knocked to the floor, but the ball through is not there. It was kind of off on a whim of prayer. It's 99-95. Atlanta fighting for their lives here on Lijiang. Coming back on out, Sugar Free. Emergency Tracer into the back. And we have devolved to the chaos. It's Tracer v Tracer on both sides. Sharp on one end, Sugar Free on the other. Sugar Free a bit healthier here. Envy getting awfully low.
Hawk about to have EMP. Hawk's EMP is going to be so important for this fight. You see Crimson on the Moira to sustain them. They're going to sustain on point.
CP, but EMP grab. The Coalescence here is it for Envy. Jaro's already down. They're not going to have a response to the Graviton or the EMP. The EMP out to Hawk. Graviton in from Saucy. Envy, goodbye, good night. The bomb. Just the exclamation point at the very end. And Atlanta not going quietly down here just yet. You'll be taking round one here on Lijiang.
Hawk's Sombra play, we talked about a lot how it's great if you have a Diva, an off-tank player that can flex onto Sombra, flex onto DPS, and Hawk's Sombra play was crucial. Crucial there in making sure that they were getting EMPs, finding value hacks, and actually winning fights from that.
Well, also just the importance of building EMPs quickly. Again, we don't know this for sure. We'd have to ask Envy, but very strong likelihood that very key fight where Envy used a lot and ended up losing, I don't think that they realized Atlanta had an EMP because Hawk had just used it in the previous fight. His building of EMP there was so far above the norm that it was not something that Envy was likely to have tracked.
And we see roll out on Control Center for Lijiang. Is Atlanta up one round? Envy running out on the Mei. Running out on this Mei 3-2-1. So they look to lock out, catch people, isolating the walls while Atlanta running with the standard 3-3. They need to watch these walls.
The walls out early. Gator nowhere to go. Gator super low and down. The Mei play from Envy working out pretty well here. I mean, you use the wall to take down the other Reinhardt. What more do you want? It's maximum value. And even with Elevote going down, I think it's too little too late. The last wall even causes Sugar Free to fall.
Yeah, there's no winning this fight right now. Funny Astro actually on the point, getting the bubble, putting some pressure, but the cap, it's going to go the way of Envy. They control the point. They're in a great position here. They're waiting for Elevote to get back, though.
And the scary part here for Atlanta is that a Mei on the defense, a lot better than Mei on the offense. The only good part is that Envy took enough damage that they couldn't go directly to the choke.
Bird has a Transcendence advantage here right now as well. They shouldn't necessarily be that afraid to use it if they can catch it before Sharp has the grab. See them enter onto the point. The wall is out. They don't have to fear that engage.
Way out here from Envy. Shatter in from Gator. Puts Trill directly to the ground, forcing out the early Transcendence from Crimzo. Saucy, though, not going to have the grab immediately in response. PK grabs. Sharp grab on the other side. Envy getting a bit more. They're going to use the beat. They're diving directly into Atlanta. Sugar Free down, and Envy fighting back and then some here on Control Center, 40-0.
And even with that shield presence, recognizing there's no Diva on Trill, so Atlanta are calling to put so much more shield presence onto Trill. Say there's no Diva to eat the damage. Just focus the shield, set up Gator. Sure, Gator gets a shatter, but they couldn't find anything off of that. And then Bird had an early Transcendence Force, partially because all that damage was returned.
And this is the power of Mei. This is where you want to be. It's just almost a WWE-style submission hold. You drop the wall, you split the team. But Atlanta not split in the end. They just use the beat in response, and Envy just
they use that's a peel. It's a peel.
Yeah, it's a zoning blizzard. It's the we don't like how this is going. We want to reset.
Though now it's a race for Bird to get the Transcendence before Sharp has grab. They will have that up very soon. Atlanta, they have their combo up. There's no Diva. Put out. There it is.
Well, Graviton, look at the wall again. It still might be Atlanta's fight, but it was a really well-placed wall from Elevote. It split the LOS. Earth Shatter coming in from Gator. Envy, though, shrugging up. They drop the grab of their own. They force out the Transcendence from Atlanta. And even as Trill is falling, Envy's going to get a lot of progress here as they get pushed out.
Good boot for Funny Astro, just bringing Jaru back into the midst of them, getting the pick off. So finally, Atlanta have gotten the swap. They flipped the point.
Immediate swap. Elevote not going to mess around with the offensive Mei. That is the right decision.
Definitely the right decision here. So when you look at these two teams, Sugar Free Rally versus Trill Shatter. Atlanta's goal is to bully Trill. They should know he has Shatter here as well. They need to watch it. They just need to try to win the front line, build their ults.
Speaking of ults, Trill, his shatters have been enormous for Envy all series long. And this would be an ideal situation. Look at the shield pressure on the Gator. Trill coming forward, drops the shower, gets booped. The boop makes the shower a bit off target, but it's still got sugar free. Even with the disruption, it's not enough. Trill still finding value.
And you see the grab come out for Saucy right there. Funny Astro managed to get the beat, keep some players alive, but without Bird's Trance, if he does not get it right now, this is over. This is the round, and it is.
Into the iris.
Envy looking to end the series here on Lijiang. They're going to be taking control center, forcing an ultimate round 3 as Atlanta continues to battle for survival. At stake, are they runner-up one more time with the need to win the runoff match later today? Or can they fight back, be the champion that they've yet to be?
See, actually, Crimzo going down to the bomb, but it doesn't matter. There's too many players for Envy on point. They're too high energy. They have too many ults. Envy's Mei play there it wasn't perfect. I think we've seen better Mei play, but they got so much value from the stall, from playing slow and continuing to get the harass with the walls, and the Blizzards even use his appeal ult. Because the whole goal for Mei is win first fight, and if you can't perfectly control a point, you just waste so much time bank that now you can just make the swap and win it with your following fights.
I will say, though, I thought Elevote had very, very good walls in the middle of Lijiang control, where it's so often that we see Meis just get walls that don't do anything. Even if they didn't win the fight at times, I thought his walls to split, block LOS, and give an opportunity for pickoffs, especially early on, were pretty good because it's easy to land a wall at the choke point. Getting value walls in the middle of Lijiang, it's a lot harder.
And remember, if Envy wins this round right here, they are the NA West Contenders champion, and they have a perfect season.
Yeah, it's a perfect season on the line and a trip to Creffield. If they're the victors at the end of this round, all of it is heading to them. Atlanta, meanwhile, they don't want that to be the storyline. They don't want to have to play later today. They want to win here and now. But Envy doing so much better in the early poke battle here. And they're just going to rotate this back over the point while Atlanta's forced back.
Yeah, they completely annihilated Gator's shield. Much better poke there. Envy, they're controlling this point. You see, they're not even moving to the point just yet. They're holding still very aggressively out in the courtyard. They actually touched trying to bait Atlanta to come forward. Neither team wanted to commit to the point.
Well, now you have Elevote saying back there, like, guys, are in the objective, but while Elevote's back there, Atlanta's just choosing the strike. They realize that he's a bit off the point, and it forces Trill back. Gives a bit of a breather in the shield war. Atlanta winning the shield war for the first time in quite a while here. But now they're coming back over. They have the point. They drop the early grab, forcing out the Transcendence. Saucy dropping a grab in turn. Here comes Crimzo. Trade outs equal on both sides here so far, but there's the shatter from Gator, knocking down 3. And the fall through for Atlanta is going to be there. So Envy, they prioritize the points, but it's going to come back to bite them.
They tried to play chicken. They tried to play chicken with Atlanta, where they didn't want to immediately all rotate to the point. They would rather have controlled that outside area of the courtyard presence. But because of that, because they chose there and they didn't want to hard commit on to the rest of Atlanta, they split themselves and they opened themselves up to that fight, and Atlanta eventually won it. So it's better to win the first fight than it is to get the first cap, honestly, especially if you don't lose.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta, they're going to be all evened up here in a moment. It's a mere 19% Envy. So not super ideal, especially because now Atlanta can hold back on point. They can use the train to their advantage. Already, Elvo is going for the bomb to the back, and it's off target. Now bomb from Hawk the other way. Looks a little bit more promising. Also, not getting much spin shield damage. Oh, look at the damage on the Gator. He's down. The grab being on the other side for Sharp. The grab goes bye-bye, and yet it's still going to be a one fight for Envy.
Fire getting the boot onto Bird there, so huge. Fire's got some great moves, and the shield presence, the focus fire for Envy is still been overall a lot better. Saucy was a little split as well from the bomb. So getting that split early despite the gravity, Envy, their point presence was stronger, the boop was critical, their focus fire was a lot better.
And Atlanta, in a round they must win. They want to keep their series alive, their season alive. They have some time here. They have about 3 fights to bring this back.
They do have grab ads, so they need to know that, and they just need to set up grab. Their goal here is to set up grab. It's just against Crimzo's Trance. They don't need to worry about combo. They have what they need to win the fight.
Well, they go with a pretty early rally, but again, look at the shields. Gator low in shields one more time, drops the shatter, doesn't get anything here. And now, he's got power Trill on the other side. Graviton out early from Saucy, and did he even catch anyone from Envy on the other side?
No, they weren't able to set up the charge. They were trying to, but Gator got booped. So they're in a situation where Sharp now has grab.
Oh, Sharp, grab in reserve, is going to be forced up the Transcend on the other side. Take a look, grab the in, Bird drop Transcend, so they end up layering support out to a degree. However, Trill out of the fight. They found him on the flip side of the Discord focus. Now it's 6-on-5. Envy forced a bit out point there. I mean, they still have 5 alive, but how much do they focus back in? They're still gonna go for it. They get Gator!
They get Gator, and then the beat invested for fire right after it. See the bomb put in the zone. Ellibo does die, but the rally's still out. There's still so much damage on the field for Envy.
Envy is evenly fighting this back. They've bought so much time. Atlanta took so long to engage into the point. And now you look at the overall progress. It's going to be 90% to Envy. Atlanta, final opportunity, and they don't have much time.
Gator making the swap onto Hammond here to touch the point. Saucy going Tracer. There's a rally for Sugar Free. They're entering the point, but Envy, they don't touch. They can't get the point in time.
And that is going to be it. Envy.
Wow, that is
champions for NA West Atlanta. That last fight, they started it with 30% to the other side, and the fight just took so incredibly long that was their final fight.
That, you know, we're waiting for the final fight to happen. We're waiting for it, but it's the rising action, and then they just can't touch one in time. So almost anticlimactic in a way, but huge for Envy all the same because they're split on point post-fight where you see Atlanta's repush come in the fight previously. They just run away and recontest and focus down Gator. Their splits have been excellent. Atlanta's focus fire extremely lacking, just very lacking.
So for Atlanta, it's another season where they're runner-up. Of course, not a bad result in the least.
No.
It still means that they have options open to get to the Atlantic Showdown. But for Envy, pure excellence here this season of Contenders. You know, they made a bit of roster changes. You know, they worked on their coaching staff all the way. And the end result for Envy is an undefeated season, start to finish. And you have to see them as one of the favorites for the Atlantic Showdown later this year, where Envy, our first team from NA to qualify.
First team from NA to qualify. Great run for them, both regular season and playoffs. Have secured that. Atlanta will be going off to the runoff match. We see now our standings right below. Envy, 7-0 from our regular season. Incredible work for them.
Yeah, and I mean, again, the two stories were Envy and Mayhem. And Mayhem, they might not have been able to finish the job in the playoffs. They ran into a newly restored Bishu, who, of course, is going to be playing right after this. But Envy, they were the start to finish. They said, you know, we're going to play one in the regular season. We're going to bring it into the playoffs. And they end up 4-1. Not that Atlanta didn't have its moments here, where Atlanta definitely looked threatening. I think they